So, all right, let's just settle into, whatever is a comfortable seated position for you. However, I'm going to guide you as to what is a comfortable seated position. Yeah, sit how you like, but don't. Okay. Okay. Comfortable within a certain perimeters. So have your feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. So, in order just to ground yourself, try and see if you can feel the soles of the feet on the floor, the sensation, the weight. And then maybe notice your hamstrings on the chair, your sits bones on the chair, your hands in your lap, and align your shoulders with your hips, your ears with your shoulders. And just imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just, you're lengthening your spine. And all the while, the blood, the lymph, the breath, everything is moving a little more smoothly. So this is something sort of like that has this position for meditating in, has been talked about in the texts, and it's been, it's eons old. It's tried and true, tried and tested. So they found this is the best way for you to sit in order to get the best out of your practice. And, if you're not feeling very well, you're tired, or you're not able to sit up for some reason, or you're sick, you can lie down in these situations. So it's not something like if you can't sit up, then you can't do your practice. You can lie down if you need to. Anyway, now just go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp. Allow your face to soften. Relax the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just be aware of any sound in your environment. Just allowing those sounds to be there, even if they're pleasant and your mind just wants to drift off to them. Try and bring your awareness to the point at which you know there's a departure of concentration because of a beautiful sound or an ugly sound. And then just notice the sensations now of your breath. Your breath is your home. It is with you. It's with you 24/7 until the day you pass. And just check in with your mind. How are you doing this evening? Some of you, it's the middle of the day. Some of you, it's 11 o'clock at night. Some space in between your thoughts. And notice how your thoughts might be impacting you, how you're feeling physically. And try not to judge what is coming up for you. Just take a step back and look at it objectively. And then bring to mind all these people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, and those people we have aversion for. And just remember, these relationships are interchangeable. You know, they can change in the blink of an eye for whatever reason. As the karma changes, so everything is very impermanent. And however you feel about any one particular person at any one particular time, they're all equal. They don't change in that they want to be happy. They don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings, and thinking particularly of Koya and all those people up there in Northern California. Because it's not just the human beings, it's all those little tiny animals that aren't able to get out. And when they're burnt and hurt and injured, where do they go? And just imagine how it would be if you can't go home to your own bed tonight. You've lost all your precious things. You're living in an area where there's just so much smoke you can't breathe. So just make strong prayers for these people, this whole area. And we think there is no negativity that can't be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start, this practice is done in the context of the four opponent powers. And the first of these is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we don't want future suffering. We know how uncomfortable it is. So logically, it does make sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you just see it like that. So, you know, a few months ago, Yangtze Rinpoche was teaching at Seichen Ling in San Francisco here. And he did talk about, you know, you think about this Vajrasattva practice as more like a healing practice. So it's not this kind of like, you know, strict Buddhist practice that we're doing. We're healing ourselves. And we're not relying on Buddha Vajrasattva to do the work for us. We do it ourselves. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. So he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. And so you imagine he's looking at you with love and compassion and complete acceptance. So however it is you're turning up tonight, tired, worried, happy, sad, is totally fine. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot, and his arms are crossed at his heart. So the left is underneath the right, closest to your heart, holding a bell. This represents wisdom. The right holds the Vajra, representing the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed like this represents enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So a little section here on developing compassion. So what is compassion? A wish for others to be free from suffering. People who've harmed, we have harmed, and then those who have harmed us. And so just bring them to mind, the ones you've harmed. Wish for them to be free from suffering. Bring to mind the ones who have harmed you, and particularly wish for them to be free from suffering, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them in the future. Sometime down the track, the timing may not even be appropriate for them. Might be difficult. So think like that. And then we think we have this power of remedy, and this is the medicine. Doing the practice of purification, and we're using visualization and recitation of mantra. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And sort of arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body and fills you completely. And just keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech. So just think about this all being purified by this powerful nectar filling you, and just it kind of it's quite forceful. It's not a gentle overflowing. You know, Lama Rinpoche used to talk about it's almost as forceful as a hat being blown off top of your head. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Motsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa, Situkaya Mebawa, Sipokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Mebawa, Situkaya Mebawa, Sipokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Triyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Mebawa, Situkaya Mebawa, Sipokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Mebawa, Situkaya Mebawa, Sipokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Triyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Mebawa, Situkaya Mebawa, Sipokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Drita Mebawa, Situkaya Mebawa, Sipokaya Mebawa, Anurakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So I feel so happy your speech is now completely purified. And just imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And that does include yourself. And it also includes anything you write, anything you put on Facebook or any kind of social media, any way in which you use your speech, written, verbal, visual. So next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's like it happens as instantaneously as when you walk into a room and flick on a switch and the light comes. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra. And instantaneously, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, dissatisfaction, anger, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadra Safa Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Safa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Savosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And you think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and compassion and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And you're working at a much more subtle level here. So imagine that Vajrasattva sends light, he's sending light and nectar again. And you imagine the nectar flowing down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light coming and blasting all the delusions. And this happens all at the same time. So it's quite busy. And this way eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind stream. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscuration to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is really important here to make a decision that we want to change things. So we just decide. It's not like a New Year's Eve resolution where it kind of disappears in about a week. This one we take slowly and don't overpromise to ourselves. Overpromise, underdeliver. It doesn't work. So you just keep it really simple. Pick on something simple that's doable, that you know you will succeed at. And then you can go for the more difficult things a little bit later. But just start simply, humbly, simply. And then maybe only once a day, but try and do it consistently so you don't lose the thread. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So then there's a little bit here to think about emptiness. So Rinpoche would suggest, in emptiness there is no I, the negative action of negative karma. There is no action of the creator of negative karma, sorry. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, even if you've only just heard that word and had no teachings on it or not read anything about it, you think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift discovery of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. What they say correctly to say is the unmistaken reincarnation. All right. The best embodiment of every Buddha, with eyes the joy of every living being, creator manifesting varied forms, great sage, deserving praise, deserving worship. A mantrin born unto the triple family, upholding mantras of the foremost pledge, the greatest bearer of the triple gem, who teaches all three peerless vehicles. With snare unfailing, most victorious, the snatcher ever great, the Vajra snare, the Vajra hook, the snare of excellence. Okay. All right, everyone. Let's just have, I think we did 3, right? Okay. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation to sort of walk into our lives soon, and for all of your own individual teachers, whoever they are. Just pray for them to have long lives, because we're relying on them, so we want them to stay around. Purely selfish. All right.